It's great to, I see a lot of familiar faces this evening, even some from New Zealand, and it's a great honour, it's a privilege to be standing and to leading us in devotion this evening. Waitangi Day is always special for a lot of us, especially in our family, because my sister was born on Waitangi Day. And luckily, you know, my father being Samoan, he wanted to call her or name her Waitangi. And luckily my mother won, and her name is Lotu. So yeah, no big difference, you know, she was born on a Sunday. So she goes, so it was a choice between Waitangi and Lotu. Psalms 4, verse 8 reads like this: "In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. O te taoto mo moe file mu, a wa oeleri ie na oelava, wa unofo ai male file mu." This evening, it is a great honour for all of us to have the company of Right Honourable Vauwasa Māneia Winstone Peters and the esteemed delegation from New Zealand. The Honourable Head of State and his good lady, Deputy Council of Deputies are here as well, Honourable Prime Minister and Cabinet Ministers of the independent state of Samoa, as well as the well-regarded staff of the New Zealand High Commissioner's Office to Samoa. Kia ora, tālofa, warmest greetings. I worked part-time in New Zealand to assist with my tertiary education 35 years ago. My parents were blue-collared workers who worked manual labour jobs that fortunately for my siblings and I put food on the table and a roof over our heads. When I finally saved some decent money from my part-time dishwashing job, I asked my mum what I could buy for her on Mother's Day. Without hesitation, she said, "A nice bed." I was shocked. I expected that she would say a car, clothes, perfume, or even some money to send back to the relatives in Samoa. But alas, she wanted a new, expensive, luxury orthopedic merino bed, which cost $6,000. That was a lot of money back in the olden days. My friends, when told of my impending purchase, were not surprised, and they were not impressed. They said, "You should ask her again to make sure that she really wants a bed for Mother's Day." To this day, I've never forgotten her answer. She said to me, "Son, I work 3 jobs. I have 3 school-aged children to look after as well as your father. I have an arthritic knee and my back is not too good. After all the stresses and demands of the day, I look forward to the time when I can come home and sleep. I look forward to the time that I can rest soundly and safely, free from the demands and trials of the day." We read at the start, Proverbs 3, verse 24. "When you lie down, you will not be afraid. Your sleep will be sweet. Your sleep will be sweet." Beyond the call of duty, how sweet sleep is. When we work so hard, after a hard day's mahi or graft, how sweet rest is. For someone like my mother, sleep was so sweet as she worked with vigor and gutso. How sweet sleep was when you were tiresome and weary. She washed dishes also and made sandwiches. In her 3rd job, she was a cleaner. And I am not in any way ashamed of the job that my mother did. From her labour and her toiling, how sweet sleep was, knowing that she was not afraid for the safety of her children. Brothers and sisters in Christ, sometimes we take for granted sleep and the luxury of a good nap, some shut-eye or some kip, as we say. We see with some intrepidation a world where families are displaced for whatever reasons, societies and communities rife with war and tyranny. People, families cannot sleep. But I am so fortunate, and I thank the Lord growing up in New Zealand and now living in beautiful Samoa. I do not take for granted the precious opportunity to rest and sleep. This Waitangi Day, that was my prayer, for all persons to be able to sleep and rest without hindrance. I started school just as the dawn raid ceased, and I have never forgotten the privilege of sleeping, resting in safety and comfort. With war and famine and natural disasters adversely affecting people around the world, especially families, I will never take it for granted that I slept in a bed in a house furnished by my parents. Yet as a church minister, I know there are so many around the world who are not so lucky and privileged. The national anthem of New Zealand, God Defend New Zealand, has this line: guard Pacific's triple star from the shafts of strife and war. That is our collective calling and our prayer this evening, that we may sleep free of strife and war, that we leave a legacy for our children free of strife and war, that when we leave this place and we pass it on to our children, and they will be the stewards and caregivers of this earth, may it be less of a place of strife and war. Jesus said, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." To the delegation from New Zealand, enjoy the rest of your time in beautiful Samoa. It's been a long and arduous day. Enjoy the sleep tonight.